What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, James Harden, according to reports, is open to leaving the Brooklyn Nets after this season. All right. Um, According to reports, the Brooklyn Nets organization and James Harden do not seem to be able to come to an agreement as far as extending his stay there past this season. And also, James Harden apparently is not happy with the state of the current team. Of course not. Of course not. Because he thought things were going to be easy, you know? But of course, James Harden could kick a baby and the mainstream sports media will find some angle to justify why James Harden kicked that 8-month-old toddler. They'll justify it because he's extremely protected for some fucking reason. You know, this is a guy that did everything that a professional should not do to force his way out of the organization that, was his. The Houston Rockets was his team, and he did everything he could to force a trade, including publicly admonishing the team that he had. Didn't want to play for the Houston Rockets organization, supposedly because the owner is a Trump supporter. If it's the same dude that wore a mask supporting Blue Lives Matter, and he had known the owner for years. Now all of a sudden, you just knowing that he's a Trump supporter, it was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You could have stayed there. You're young enough to be part of a rebuilding process, and one of the few black coaches that we have in the NBA. A lot of times I have to put black coaches in positions where they're being set up to fail. You could have been there, helped support him. Yes, you might have had a lesser role. Okay, maybe you weren't going to score 34, 36 points a game, but you still would have been an elite player putting up 27, 28 points a game. But no, that's not good enough for James Harden. So he bounced, went to Brooklyn, thinking at least, well, if I'm going to if I'm going to sacrifice my stats, at least it's going to be an easy ride to a couple of rings. But it hasn't worked out for him. No, it hasn't worked out at all. There's been a series of injuries either to himself or Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant. Then, of course, the situation this year with Kyrie Irving and the off the court stuff. Then, of course, there's now this injury to Kevin Durant. So now James Harden, by default, is in a position where he needs to step up and be the leader. And lo and behold, shock and dismay, here comes an article saying he's ready to leave. This is who he is, a wannabe star with a co star mentality. Well, should we be surprised? This is a guy that started off as a bench player. He wasn't thrust into a situation where he had to be responsible for to be the leader of a team. That was Kevin Durant, to a lesser extent, Russell Westbrook. Even when he went to Houston, yeah, I will give him this. Uh, James Harden at his peak is a talent that will get you to the playoffs and will get you between 47 to 55 wins in a season. I will give him that. You can't take it away from him. But as far as a leader, a leader, James Harden leaves a lot left to be desired when it comes to that. He can put up well, at least he used to be able to put up great numbers. I don't know about now. You know, he's been able to put up 50, 60-point triple doubles against the worst teams in the NBA, the bad teams, but in the playoffs, that's a whole nother matter. And now he's talked that he wants to go to Philly. Now he wants to go to Philly and in his eyes go to a situation where he might have a chance at a ready-made title. This is the thing, man. Now I know people talk about Russell Westbrook and how he just can't get it done. And I look at this point, I can't argue with them. But this is another dude that's had a lot of talent around him over the years, and yet has not been able to win a title. This is a guy that's played with Kevin Durant twice, Russell Westbrook twice, Serge Ibaka in his prime. This is a guy that has played with Dwight Howard at the end of his prime. This is a guy that's played with Chris Paul. This is a guy that has played with Kyrie Irving. He's played with Eric Gordon. And yet, he can't get it done. He's been to one NBA Finals a million years ago. And whenever this team faces the upper echelon teams, he does nothing. Sure, yeah. What are you saying thing too wrong when he scored? Yeah, okay, he might have a great game against a middling team every now and then, but show me where he consistently shows up against the better team. Show me where he consistently does that. Not one game every fucking 6 months. Show me where he consistently do that. Now shut the fuck up. So anyway, I'm not surprised with James Harden. This is what he does. But is the media going to spin it like this? No. They're going to talk about how he's this great commodity. Um, he sacrificed his stats. This guy's the most protected, one of the most protected people I see in sports. At least with LeBron James and Tom Brady, I understand why. They're champions, multi-champions, multiple-time champions. They're considered, at least at one point in time, the best player in the sport or one of the premier players. Extraordinary crossover popularity of both of them. I get why they protect them. Why the fuck is James Harden so protected? It makes no fucking sense. He hasn't won shit. He's not that fucking popular. He's not amongst the top vote getters in the NBA. Why the fuck is he so popular? Does he has to have people paid off. I don't understand it. It makes no fucking sense. Oh, well, you can't blame James Harden. I mean, he's trying his best. He's trying his absolute best. The check clear yet? Yes. Yeah, James Harden is trying his best. He's trying his absolute best. It's Kyrie Irving that's the problem. It's Kyrie Irving. He needs to step up. Absolutely. It's Kyrie. He's the problem. James Harden can't do too much. We're asking too much of James. James is doing enough as it is.